I have to sail head to wind or I'm getting set onto the coral on the side. This is not slack tide. This is definitely outgoing. This is insane and really scary. We definitely have water in the bilge, that's not a surprise. My mainsail ripped because it was so windy, so you can see the patch there. Join the ride this week for one of my most insane past experiences in the Tuamotus and a very windy 25 to 30 knot 2-day sail down to Marea. Welcome to Hippie Sailing. I'm single-handing migrant 27 around the world. I started my trip in Maine with a very cold 10-month overhaul of my entire boat. Solo sailed through the Caribbean, the Panama Canal, and 41 days alone across the Pacific. I've been cruising in French Polynesia for the last year and a half, kiting, spearfishing, freediving, and of course fixing all the things that break on my boat. Aboard the Gek, I have no fridge, water maker, fancy electronics, and my rowboat is a dinghy with a sail rig. If you're interested in seeing my daily life, check out my Instagram @BoatLizard. Okay, enjoy the episode. It's so weird being home without Tiga. It's crazy because she was only here for 3 weeks, but it really felt like she belonged here. As soon as I got home, I jumped in the water and scrubbed the hull and got covered in all of these tiny bitey shrimp, which was awesome. Now it's just raining, which is good for collecting water, but kind of poopy for the day. Last night was insane. The wind totally died. I should button this hatch a little better. And so I float my chain with Pearl Farm floats, but when the wind dies, my boat rides up on the chain, and the Pearl Farm floats were just smacking into my hull. So I got up in the middle of the night in the rain, got in my dinghy, tied it to my wind vane, and rowed my boat backwards so that it would stretch out on the chain again. I'm getting ready to leave Ringaroa, and this is exactly like the last time I left. There is an active squall, and 15 minutes before I need to start upping anchor. The reason this is so important is that I'm trying to time the pass because this is one of the sketchier passes that I've ever been through, and it's really important that I get the timing right. Oh, it's raining. These squalls the past month have been really intense. They've been about twice the normal wind speed, whereas usually in the Tuamotus I feel like the squalls only add about 5 or 10 knots to the wind speed, but if it's blowing 20, the squall will be in the 30s. Right, well, it hasn't stopped raining, but I need to get the sail hanked on, and I need to start getting ready to leave, so hooray. This is my last Tuamotan atoll, and this is the last time for a while that I have to worry about timing a pass and leaving in unpleasant weather, so I'm gonna try to enjoy it. Oh, this is so great. I get to leave in a squall. Most people don't get to do this, or they choose not to. I don't know why. It's not working. Alright, I'm gonna try to sail off the anchor, which is tricky single-handing, especially now because I'm anchored between a lot of really shallow bommies. That one there, and there's one on the other side of me that I will hit with my keel if I get too close to them, and right in front of me it's really shallow too. I really don't want to use the engine because it leaks so much, and that would suck right before a big passage, so I'm gonna see what happens. Hopefully nothing bad. Okay, so far so good. Anchor's up. There are a lot of uncharted bommies here. You can see one there, but it's really tricky to see them when it's cloudy. I just have the main up. I'm just gonna drift. I 5 minutes ahead of schedule, so I'm just coming around the final bend now of getting into the pass itself. Yeah, there's definitely standing waves. Oh fuck, it looks nasty. I'm going slow. I couldn't slow myself down anymore. So there's this huge squall that's hitting me right as I am coming towards the pass. These winds are insane. I have just the main up. I'm worried I'm gonna be overpowered, but there's not much I can do because I'm coming into the pass as we speak. The only thing I'm worried about is that I am going to have to go into the wind at some point when the pass makes the turn, and even if I turn on my engine, I don't know if I can fight it. I need to put the camera down and just sail my boat. Okay, I have had to turn on my engine because the wind angle is too tight for me to be able to sail out. But now that my main's up, I'm going to be luffing example A, which I hope isn't going to be too hard on the sail because there's a lot of wind. This is over here. It's raining a little bit. I think the tide is still, oh yeah, it's definitely still outgoing, so I'm going 4 knots, which means that there are some pretty nasty standing waves that I'm gonna have to deal with, and I'm getting set onto the coral on this side of the pass because that's where the wind is pushing me, so this is pretty intense. I'm just barely making it out of here. The wind is right on my nose and I can't sail with a luff in the main because it's too strong, so I'm getting set into the nastier waves on this side. Okay, I have to sail head to wind or I'm getting set onto the coral on the side. This is not slack tide. This is definitely outgoing. This is insane and really scary. My mouth is so dry right now. Once I got into Marea, I was telling this story to one of my friends about the pass, and it was like, the video does not do it justice how it felt. With about 3 or 4 knots of outgoing current pushing me, the waves were almost stopping me. And I was telling my friend this story, and he said, "Why didn't you just turn around?" And the funny thing is that the thought of turning around never once crossed my mind, even though I was scared shitless. I was like, well, I guess this is just what it's gonna be, so for whatever that's worth. Okay, I think I'm through the worst of it. I have no words. Okay, I'm out. When I said I think that's the end, it wasn't. There was this really nasty belt of current that I had to get through that was just really short, steep, choppy. I got about 3 waves, bam, 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 over my whole boat. I'm soaked. Probably everything down below is soaked. I'm just gonna get a little further from shore, then put on the autopilot, or the wind vane rather, and clean up down below, because I'm sure there's a lot of water. I really pushed the engine. That was terrifying. Really, truly, I was shitting myself. I probably have, and I just don't even know yet. Okay, here's my little moment. I don't know if I'm gonna put this in the final edit, but I'm gonna say it now because I feel that post I didn't die elation. I thought slack tide was at 10, but I talked to someone local who told me that it was at 2, and I believed them, and they were wrong. It's sloppy out here. It's really nasty. I know that some of it is just the slop coming in because I'm so close to shore still. So I think once I get a little further away, this should mellow out. And I need to go below to scoop the water out of the bilge and sort of assess the damage from that experience. Going below to assess the damage. We have dish rag down. Ooh, now it's a little drag. That flew out of the carver. 3 definitely have water in the bilge, if that's not a surprise. Everything in here stayed okay. B-berth. That chain locker, waterproofy thing popped open, so that could mean water in my bed. Okay, I got really lucky. No water came in because I put the cap on before I left. Just put up the head sail and looks good. Squally, but I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's clearing up or if we're just between squalls. I am going 5 knots, which is cool. I forgot how nice it is to go downwind. I'm just kind of trying to get around Rangi, and then I'll head down between Rangiroa and Tiki How, and then this is my rum line for Marea, which is exciting. I'm probably about an hour away from the point where I can jibe over and get onto the rum line, so that's gonna feel good. Kind of keeping an eye on this squall. I have about an hour of daylight left. The squalls have been really scary pre-squall wind, so I have the jib halyard just kind of flaked out there so I can do a quick drop if I have to. Right now I just had a little guy pass over me that you can see over there, and now I'm kind of in the post-squall, not as much wind. I really hope it chills out a little bit tonight, but there's not really any guarantees, so it could just be kind of a long shitty night, which not much I can do about that either. So it just absolutely poured rain, and once again it was one of those big scary squalls where took down the head sail and I was just clinging to the tiller for dear life, trying to keep my boat going with the wind and feeling very overpowered with just the mainsail up. I'm transiting between Marea and Tikiha right now. Pretty tired, so I'm taking 15-minute naps in the cockpit. I daren't sleep down below, but I'm tired enough to be able to sleep out there. And I keep going below for more layers because it's really cold. So far I have 2 sweatshirts, these long pants, and I just added this blanket, so hopefully this is enough. This is where I am. Just trying to get, once I get to around here, I can go to bed because I'll be past these thingies. But pretty good speed, and the sky is clearing up a little bit. Right now it's hard to tell if it's between a cloud and a squall, so I'm just kind of on high alert. The evening of day 1, it's been crazy. I have 2 reefs in the main and my working jib, and I've just been flying around between 4.5 and 6 knots. It hasn't rained yet. There have been sort of squally clouds that give me more wind. There is something upwind right now that looks nastier than other things that I've seen, but it's definitely not what it was last night, so that's good. If this keeps up, I should get in tomorrow evening. I might make it in before dark and I might not. It's sort of up in the air. I'm boiling some potatoes on the stove, and I have pre-chopped some garlic to add to them. I think it's just going to be simple potatoes mayo in the very pot in which they were boiled. It's so rolly. Seas on the beam, and it's chipping shit. Yep. This keeps tipping over. It's been an insane day. It's sort of one of those days when you just wedge yourself in. Alright, dinner time.
It's been a long, hard season. I'm feeling weary to my bones. I guess that's my reason.
Morning 2. The wind died last night, so I just got up and put up the bigger head sail. And I was so tired last night. I was really a lot more conked out than I normally am at sea. I normally sleep with half a brain. This night I think I slept with 3/4 of my brain. Last night it was crazy. I probably should have been a 3rd reef in the main even, but it was sort of on the edge, so I didn't. And this is where I am. I'm just trying to get around this guy. He'll come up in about 10 miles. And then Marea is here, so things are getting close. 47.5 miles to go. Well, Marea is on the horizon in front of me. And Tahiti is over here. And I think I'm going to be getting in right around sunset, depending on what happens with wind. I have 13 miles to go, and it has gotten way lighter, but it seems like it's going to hold pretty steady. Just a fun thing, I don't know if you guys have heard before, but they say one of the ways that people used to find islands back in the day before navigation, like when Polynesians were doing their thing in canoes, was that you look for where the clouds are, and I'd like to point out clouds, Tahiti, clouds, Marea. So it's true. I mean, they stick onto the high peaks. I have not been this tired from a passage in a very long time. This one has been a doozy. I've been kind of afraid to sleep the past 2 nights because the squalls have been so crazy. Even when I take the head sail down, I'm overpowered with just the main, which has never really happened before, but it seems like in the past month that's been a lot of the squalls, so I'm wondering if it's a seasonal thing. My mainsail ripped because it was so windy, so you can see the patch there. I will sew over it when I get in, but right now it's just sail taped. The water is starting to change color and there's more stuff in it, coconut, seaweed. It's cool. All the subtle, I mean, obviously there's a giant fucking mountain right in front of me, but I always like to look at the other ways you can know you're approaching land. And watercolor, things in the water, birds, clouds, they're all indicators.
It's been a long, hard season. I'm feeling weary to my bones. I guess that's my reason. I've packed my bags and now I'm gone. Somewhere between the sun and the deep blue sea. That's where you find me. Tender red, flat out on a beach bed. That's where you find me. Working on my fishing skills in a little boat that I rent. Ain't got nothing but time to kill.
Just dropped the hook in 32 feet of water, really close to shore. The trick is to go closer in than all the other boats, and then you know it's shallow enough for someone who doesn't have windlass. It's crazy to be surrounded by mountains again. I've been 5 months this time in the Tuamotus. Just these crazy, crazy mountains. It's nice.
No vacation's been more heaven since. Between the sun and the deep blue sea. That's where you find me. Tender red, flat out on a beach bed.
Just made myself a nice hot meal and starting to think about bed, and it is so much colder here than it was in the Tuamotus, and I can't imagine that it's anything geographical because I'm only about, God, I'm 200 miles south, not even, because it was a little bit of west that I did too. I think it must have to do with the mountains and the cool air coming down at night, but I'm in a t-shirt and I'm actually starting to get even chillier than t-shirt chilly, so this is really fun. The Tuamotus were hot even at night. Like right now there's no wind and it's still just cold air, which I feel like I haven't experienced this in a really long time. It's super exciting. Thank you guys for watching this week's video. Thank you so much to all of my patrons who are supporting me and making this trip possible. If you'd like to become a patron, I put out snacks every other week on the weeks that I don't put out YouTube videos. Right now I'm reading through the journal that I kept on my 41-day solo Pacific crossing, but also if you're a patron you can propose a video that you would like me to do, just a short 2 to 5 minute video clip on any questions you have about things that I do, pieces of equipment, just anything you'd like to know more about, and I'm happy to make custom videos for you guys on Patreon. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link below. It's patreon.com/windhippie, and if you just want to give me a one-time donation, I do have a PayPal. That's paypal.me/windhippie. If you guys would like to join the t-shirt, sweatshirt, and mug crew, there's a link below to my shop with merchandise that I have. Thank you to my parents for being awesome models of my shirts and freezing their butts off on a pond in Maine in the middle of winter to film that video for me. Thank you guys for all your lovely comments. I love reading through them. Thanks for all the love that you gave me on my last video. My sister is going to be coming back. She's officially quitting her job at the end of the season and coming to meet me in Fiji and possibly sailing to New Zealand with me, so so stay tuned for more sister love. And speaking of sister love, thank you Tish for helping me get these videos scheduled on YouTube and uploaded in time. It's really nice. This video is coming to you guys from Cook's Bay in Marea. I sailed over here at 6 in the morning to beat the winds. And I've just been below, sort of opening and closing my hatches between squalls while I edit this video. And it's funny because I actually end up in Cook's Bay at the end of this video, and that's where I'm actually editing it months later, so it's kind of a cool full circle situation. Ooh, here's Cook's Bay. Yes, we're back. All right. Patrons, I'll see you guys next week with a snack, and YouTubers, I'll see you in 2 weeks with another full-length YouTube video.